Well, good evening. Welcome back. Whatever works the best for you. If you're catching us for the first time tonight, thank you for joining us. If you're here for the fourth of the four tonight, thank you for watching tonight. If you're wondering why we're still here, we're going to send Shani over and she'll bust your kneecaps or something. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, it's just the way it is. Tonight is our live chat night. First off, how's the week? How did our week go last week? Shani, you can start us off.
Week was good. First of all, I want to say for anybody that is a veteran that is watching us, I just want to thank you guys for your services. And I just kind of want to put that out there that even though we're doing the show, we definitely honor and respect our veterans. So I just kind of wanted to just throw that out there on behalf of us on the show. So thank you.
For sure. Yeah, I ended up having, I think I did 4 different Memorial Day events today as far as that I was covering and such. And it's really moving to see some of the World War II veterans and sharing some of these stories of people that they haven't seen for 60, 70 years, whatever it would have been for some of these guys. And they talk about it like it's like a fresh wound. It's incredible. If you get a chance and you can ever do that, gang, it's completely un-DJ related, but it's worth your time. Okay. Dan, how was your week?
Week was good. Personally, I mean, the teaching aspect, it's winding down. We did finals last week, so I was nuts doing grading, but other than that, was fine. And then I picked up a last-minute photo booth gig. Friday, somebody called me up and they had screwed up and said, "Hey, can you help me out?" And I said, "Sure." So it was nice. It was a planned Saturday off, and I ended up 3 hours in and out, and I was gone. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, I kind of like those quick things these days instead of the 12-hour fiasco. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's another story for another time. MJ, how's your week been going?
Good. It's a crazy week as always. Good and crazy. Lots of busy, lots of variety in the different venues that I DJ. So it's kind of crazy. It's good and bad. You know, you can't get in the rut, but then again, you know, you're not in the rut. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
And MJ, we got all the school parties going on now, right? It's just it's crazy this week.
I have this hashtag that I've been putting on called Double Duty DJ Day. It's all one word, Double Duty DJ Day, and that's usually a school event and a nighttime gig.
Yeah. That's what's happening for me this whole entire week. From Wednesday on, it's just school party, double school party, field day, school party, field day, school party. Yeah, it's just nonstop kiddies this whole week.
Yeah,
it sounds like a topic for a future show. We should talk about how to get into those types of shows, because there's many DJs I'm sure that would have interest in that, and I'll have to jot that down somewhere. Someone make a note.
Yeah, no problem.
Someone make a note.
Put it in your notes,
MJ.
What was that?
Put it in your notes for a future show.
Yeah, for a future show on how to get into these doing these. A lot of us know how to get into the homecoming and the prom, but these other daytime things.
This the field days and the end of school parties and the ice cream socials and graduation parties, that stuff.
Yeah,
I usually get my gigs by beating up smaller DJs. Dan, don't worry, I'm still coming your way.
Bring it on.
Yeah, he's pretty spunky from. Okay, tonight's topic we're going to start off with is something that a lot of you probably read. Who was the one that started talking about that? Was it Digital DJ Tips was the one that first shared it this week?
They're the ones doing something later this week.
Yeah, I think so.
I have the link. Yeah. Which actually that came up before, because I put stuff up on the Rewind Report about the fact that the original rumor came out that iTunes was going to be dropping all downloads by 2017, and then the head of iTunes, it came back, or somebody in one of the heads said that no, that's not true. And then other stuff's going on with Beatport where they're changing, and also Spotify is now starting to host and play. I don't know if you would call it host. They are streaming DJ mixes, which the other ones were backing away from that. Now Spotify saying they're going to start streaming. So the whole own stream thing is wide open right now.
Exactly. And we talked about this, actually. I was mentioning to Dan earlier. Goodness, I know last spring we talked about it, the whole idea that the music is going to be going away from buying from the Amazon and the iTunes to that subscription, because that's ultimately what the labels want and the industry wants, is they want us to subscribe for $10 a month. Because they figure at $10 a month, each and every month from each and every one of us are going to make a lot more money than they will selling individual tracks.
That's why you have to buy Windows Office 365 now instead of owning it.
Exactly.
They know that is a very good business model.
Yep, exactly. Because I mean, all of our Microsoft software on this computer is the yearly subscription. My Adobe yearly or monthly subscription, which chafes me, but that's another one. It's another. So, what are your thoughts? How is that going to change the DJ industry? Because a lot of us, we get our music services, but every once in a while there's a song that is hot and we don't have it yet, or maybe we find a song we don't have from years ago. How is this going to change? Shani, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on that? How will that affect us?
Well, I mean, my whole thing is last year, they said that CDs are dead. That was the thing they said. And they said that, I believe it was like only 141 million CDs sold in 2015, which is, are you laughing at me, MJ?
I thought CDs were dead 10 years ago.
But they're making that statement that they're saying like it's official that if they calculated the numbers, it was only like 141 million CDs sold. Which
who buys a CD?
Right. Well, that's why they're saying, and they're saying that basically CDs and digital music downloads are down from last year, and now they're also incorporating the digital downloads. And people are like, "Well, I don't understand like why they're saying that." Well, they're saying that because all the streaming services that are out there now, and there's new services that are going to keep popping up. Apple Radio came out, and Jay-Z came out. I don't know who listens to Jay-Z's title, but Beyonce tried to do the whole thing with her Lemonade, but Jay-Z came out with his, and like you were saying, we have Spotify, you have Pandora. As much as I don't want to bring up SoundCloud, but people are still listening to SoundCloud when other people's mixes don't get cut off of there. You even have like iHeartRadio that keeps pushing their stuff, and music blogs are streaming and things like that. So I mean, my opinion, I still love to download music and buy music, especially like you were saying, like that one crazy song that was hot on YouTube because of that one artist, that hip hop artist that I have to get. And he's got that one single out because he's going to be a one-hit wonder, and I got to find it to do it. And I don't do illegal stuff, so I have to find where I can get it. But I will say this, for those that don't know, when Prince passed away, I don't know if anybody knows this, but his music wasn't on any of those services.
Yep.
So they said 3.5 million albums and songs were bought as soon as he passed away, because he wasn't on Spotify, he wasn't on Apple Music, you couldn't find his real stuff on YouTube. Of course, people are posting videos now, but he did release his last album on Tidal, which I didn't know that he did that, and he did release that last album on Tidal. But it's like, do artists have to pass away for now everybody to start buying their stuff? Like, what? I don't know what it is, but they did say vinyl sales are up, which I'm happy about. So those are up. Oh, MJ, whatever.
Okay.
Vinyl sales are up.
Okay. If I get 2 dates this year, my dating percentages went up 200%. But that still doesn't mean that if vinyl sales went up 50%, it's such a 0.1% to overall sales that it's not, to me, it's not even worth mentioning.
Okay, well, here in Chicago,
not a DJ, I challenge you.
Okay, right. If you're not a DJ,
look at across the board, everybody who buys music, what percentage of those people buy vinyl?
There's collectors out there that aren't DJs.
I'm not disagreeing that people don't. I'm saying percentage. To me, it's silly to look at that as a percentage, and vinyl's going to come back. That'd be the same thing as saying CDs are going to come back. That's the way music was meant to be listened to. That's the equivalent of it.
They're just saying vinyl sales went up. I never said it's making a comeback.
But it's not going to affect streaming or downloading at all.
Absolutely not, because that's a total different type of. I don't want to say that's a different type of people, because I'm not trying to, But that's
the majority of people don't want to own a record.
Right.
Let's share this real quick. Take a look at that. That's a percentage of iTunes downloads. Their curve.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it popped up great. And then because of all these streaming services now, people are, and it's not even talking about the DJs, because we all know about all these services out there. But how many times have you guys out there that are watching us in a client meeting with your wedding client or whoever you're meeting, and they hand you a Spotify list and say, here's my list of music. And then you're like, that's great, but I'm not, I don't use this service, or I don't this, or I don't that, because that's all they know. That's all they list. That here's my Pandora list. I listen to this channel, or I do this. That's the way people are doing it now. That's the way clients are.
There's literally a place I DJ at where the manager did that to me. This is what I want to hear here, and showed me his Pandora playlist. So you know what I did? I took my phone, I took a picture of the artist. I said, I'll pick a few out of there.
That's what you have to do. You can't get mad at your client, because that's what the age is coming to now. So you can't turn around and say to them, well, you can't just tell me like 10 of your hottest favorite artists or songs. No, this is my Spotify. This is the playlist I listen to, or this is that. You can't get mad. They don't know anything. That's what
they know. Songs, they know feeling. I feel this collection of.
It's a soul thing. It's like house music. It's an emotional thing, a soul thing.
It sounds like a couple of kids at my one of the proms I did, that it was all about, and he had his list there, and it was, I did not recognize a single song, artist or song on that list of 25. And these are guaranteed to get the dance floor going, that kind of a thing. I did try one of them. I had 3, I think, and I tried one of the 3. Yeah, but
usually at that point I look at him and go, no speaking glossa.
Yeah, from the whitest guy in the room. Okay, good.
I will say this. I struggle with the whole idea, just because, and John and I were talking about this morning. I'm working a venue next weekend. There is no Wi-Fi. There is no cell signal. I understand that this is the way it's coming to, but what the heck are we going to do if it continues down that path?
Okay, when you say there's no Wi-Fi, are you saying that they're not giving you their Wi-Fi password, or there's just no Wi-Fi? Because
when I did a search for the signal, nothing came up.
Okay, because I'm not arguing with you, but I hear like DJs all the time say the venue didn't give me their password. I carry a MiFi with me on my bigger events and my corporate stuff. It's my own. I pay for it every month, with my company, because I'm never going to ask a venue like, excuse me, can you give me, I'm not saying this to you, Dan.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Like I will never, this is all on me. Like I always say to everybody, if a party's great, they're going to tell the DJ how great it is. If a party sucks, they're going to tell the DJ how, that it sucks. It's always on the DJ. And you're going to sit there and tell them that the banquet captain didn't give you their Wi-Fi password because you didn't want to spend whatever amount of dollars for your hotspot for your phone, or like a Wi-Fi thing. Like that's just my thing when I always hear DJs say like in things like, oh, they didn't give me their Wi-Fi password. Okay, well, get your own.
I have no desire to have it. Other than it came down to when I got there and I realized I had no service, my phone said no service on it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to check, because, if something happens, I want to make sure that I can get to the outside world. And there was nothing there. And so, and again, this is because what the big trend right now, especially around here, and I'm sure it is everywhere, is barn weddings. So we're not talking, this is downtown with the big hotel or whatever that it just wants to be mean and have block signals. Where I'm talking, it's the middle of nowhere because it's a barn and people want to be there. And so what do we do to access that? How do we combat that? How do we overcome if that's where we go with everything streaming?
Mm-hmm.
I have a solution. Don't DJ somewhere where there's no internet connection or phone service. It'd be like, that solves it. What, no phone service? No, I'm sorry. You're going to have to hire a band. Make sure it's an acoustic band, because they probably, if they don't have cell, they may not have good electric. And
tell them to bring their own phone book, because the outhouse out back tends to run out of toilet paper.
That's a place where they probably still use a phone book.
So an interesting tidbit to this is that what did they say, by 2019 is what they were kind of
2019, yeah.
And the prediction that we were just my kids are into tech stuff, so I get to hear these things, these conversations, is right now they're starting to test 5G in, I believe, South Korea. The difference between what 4G and 5G can do is it's supposed to be a gigabyte connection on your phone, and the distance of this is supposed to be way superior to what 4G can do. So now my phone will have a huge pipe coming to it, and it will be able to carry much farther. So Dan, some of those remote locations that our 4G won't reach now, 5G in 2 years, 3 years probably will be able to reach that location. So iPhone 8 Plus S,
That's going to be like this big.
it's going to be like that big, but it's going to be able to get an incredible signal, and we're going to be able to stream the latest Apple release video like it's right, like we're there.
All right, I sort of have a short-term solution on that.
Robots for everything, just robots.
Cool. I wonder if anybody would make an MJ robot.
No.
Oh, Lord.
No.
That would never
Very
leave the
robotic.
lab. They would have to do tests on that in the lab and just keep
They'd
doing.
probably have to do away with the person who invented it too. We don't want that memory there. No, for Android is a quick solution. It's called an on-the-go adapter, and I use it all the time when I'm out. If I need a song, I got stuck the other night by a song that I did not have that I wanted to play, because most of the time I'll just tell them, see ya, no, I don't have it, bye-bye. But I wanted to play it. So I ended up downloading it to the phone, attached this to your phone. I have a thumb drive on my keychain, goes in there, transfer it over to this, stick it in your computer, you're DJing. And it can be a video that you download or anything. Not the quickest thing in the world, but it's a solution on a push. But can I rant now about my entire list? And I want the other guys to go off of this, because I'm going to split this into two places that I want you guys to go off of. One, the DJ that does want to buy songs, and two, the DJ that doesn't want to buy songs, because there is both of them out there. Would you agree?
Oh, yes.
And you say the DJ that doesn't want to buy songs just because they don't want to spend the money, or they just don't want to put it on their hard drive, or
this is my list for the DJ who doesn't want to buy it. It's easier to get and play the hits only when you need them. Okay? They can grab old songs only when they're requested. They don't have to go out and buy them, especially for a younger DJ, because I have so many DJs that ask me, well, how do you get the older stuff? Because I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yep.
You have no chance of losing your music library. And it helps you broaden your music horizon because you have access to absolutely everything in the world. Now, I'm split on that between the DJ that does want to buy their songs, because most DJs want to curate their own library. That's kind of a thing for them. Chances are the streaming service, like Dan said, is going to be tough to get, and or most of the DJs like me, I'm looking for a remix. And what's the chances of you finding a streamable remix that you like on the fly, or a redrum? DJs just flat out enjoy digging for something. And what does that streaming service do for DJs like myself? And I think, Shane, you do too also, that do videos.
yeah.
Where does that put us in that? Because that changes a whole other dynamic in the amount of stuff you're downloading. So, if you have a limit to your Wi-Fi spot, there's a limit on that. So that takes me, and this is where I'm going to let you guys go with it, into the point where I both want and don't want it, because I like the idea of owning my own stuff. I know that it's going to be easier for me to find a remix on my own if I hunt, as opposed to being out. Yet again, on the other hand, 90% of the stuff I play, I hate. Okay. I really do. I'm an EDM fan, and I, in about 2005, couldn't make it. That's all I spun is EDM up until about 2005, and couldn't make a full-time living off of it, and had to go to top 40. I'm not a fan of top 40. So most of the stuff I download, I hate the fact that I'm putting money in pockets of artists that I want to fail. I want to see Lil Wayne fail and never come back again. He ruined everything. Him and 2 Chainz killed hip-hop. And I'll say that to anybody, and I've been threatened about it. I don't care. But so there's the balance there of me playing a hit song that I know is only going to be a hit for 3 or 4 months, and then I never play it again. So, but yet again, I had to pay for it and don't want it. So you have the two dynamics. What do you guys think of those two dynamics of needing it one way and preferring it the other?
See, myself, I'm one who likes to have everything on my hard drive and at my access. So I would be the one that would want to make sure that I have everything right there, because I just feel more comfortable with that than, even though every day we're streaming different stations and things within our office, and that we only stream in the office now because of we use the Sonos system, and it's really kind of a cool little system. But I don't know if I would be comfortable enough with that streaming. It would really, it would be interesting to play with it enough to get comfortable enough to be confident enough to use it.
I also wonder, how it would affect like the crate mentality, the crate and folder mentality that we have. Case in point, when I have I have my intros put in one folder. I have my, radio ads put in another folder. And if I'm searching just a straight normal search of just my hard drive, sometimes I'm getting, 10, 12 versions. I can only imagine what's going to come up in the streaming.
If it's
I'm sure there's a way to, you to pinpoint it or kind of weed that down. But I just think of that kind of the same aspect you're talking about of looking. It's just like, I'd rather have it on my hard drive so I can narrow down.
Well, if you tag it and if they tag it properly, because if I do a search, let's say for hip hop 2005, and then I can narrow it down to hip hop 2005 top 40 because I've tagged it with both hip hop and top 40. So if they're tagged on the streaming thing to where multiple tags so that you can go top 40 if it's crossed over to top 40, urban chart, dance, remix, you can put those specific words in so that it comes up quicker. And that's why I spent so much time tagging, because I can literally put in 3 or 4 words and I can get just that tiny list, like tropical house 120 to 122 2015, and it'll give me just that. And then I can sort it by the amount of playlists, like how many times I've played them. And the same way that if I'm going to guess that if you sign into one of the streaming services, it's going to probably keep some sort of digital footprint of what you've played, how many times you've played it, etc.
Yeah.
But I like both, so that's why I'm saying I'm not picking one side or the other. So
Shani, what's your thoughts? You travel a lot. How would that fit with you?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is because I do so many different types of gigs. I do the mobile DJ stuff, but I'm also doing the club stuff. I'm also doing the corporate stuff. So I like to have so many, like MJ says, I like to have so many versions of so many different things, and I like to have my own. So I have them, and I have, last night, it was Friday night, and I was at this club, and I played the redrum of this. Saturday night, I'm here, and if I have some followers that came to see me, I don't want them saying, hey, that DJ played the same stuff last night. I want to play a different remix. I want to do this. I like to have my own music on my own stuff. Now with Serato, they did come out with Kuvo, which is a streaming service that they just started. They came out with the Pulse Locker, which I haven't really played along with a lot. So it's like people are really trying to get to that streaming. Do I think that it's going to die 100%, like how we talked about last week, things dying with buying songs? I think the numbers are just going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping. But I definitely think there's going to be services out there that you could still buy. You could still buy the songs, and I'm going to be one of those people that when I have to get something, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to make sure that I have it. Yeah, I belong to like 5 different record pools that that I still get my music from and stuff like that. But I still, like for instance, I'm doing a huge Jewish Orthodox party this weekend on Sunday. And they gave me music that I have, they gave me artists that in my library of hard drives, I do not have these artists, because just like American music, they update constantly. And I had to buy like about 10 songs, for this party. Was I going to turn around and say to them, sorry, I'm not going to play this song? Just like I'm not going to play Justin Timberlake's new song at a party because that's the hot song for the American music. I would never do that, but I had to go and I had to research and I had to buy it. So I like that I can still buy music, but the streaming is really going to start taking over in the future. So it's like the pros and the cons, like MJ say, I'm not one way, I'm not the other. I like having my choices, and I like be able to do okay, well, maybe I'll stream some of this, but I still want that option to be able to buy and get the song or get this the way I want to do it until all that ends. Like I said, robots, and the robots are just going to take over.
Let's take a little pause here. We've got to run our sponsor spots here for our sponsors with summer of 2016, which, of course, we have Top Hits USA as one of the main sponsors, and they are, of course, a music service. If you are needing music, check them out, Top Hits USA. All sponsor links are down in the description below.
Top Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And those are the sponsors for summer 2016. We're actually going to have a couple more next week when we kick off our first June night. Yay! Okay, a couple of things up. One, this is something that's been in the back rumor mill that people have not heard about, and we're going to kind of share it here as one of the first spots, and then you can remember it when you hear it in 6 months to 5 years from now. There's some grumbling going on because right now a legal music service can only offer you audio tracks back 3 years. If they're offering you audio tracks back, MP3s back beyond that, that is not a legal music service. iTunes and those who sell tracks, it's a different story. What the thought is that there are going to be some of the music services that supply DJs are going to allow you to basically pick tracks and do some cherry picking and buying individual tracks. The thing is, right now, in order to do that, the price is very, very high per track. And the numbers I've heard of anywhere from, $3.50 to $5 a track, because you get into older music, there's supposed to be more licensing issues and different things, so it takes more to manage. But that might be something you might hear about in the future, the next year or two. So
that could be something that could bring about more vinyl sales, because it might be cheaper to go out and buy an old scratched up used record instead of a single MP3. I'm kidding, but
yeah.
It actually could be.
Yeah, it could be.
You could find a good quality one for cheaper.
Yeah, and all this whole music talk, how much it would change if all of a sudden we had a similar music licensing to what Canada has. The whole game would be, the conversation would be completely different. So, okay, let's jump to our last topic before we wrap things up tonight. MJ found this one. MJ, what brought you to ask this question, by the way? And I'm going to let you introduce it.
What question?
What about the female?
You're actually giving this one to me.
I am, yes. You're going to, so that way, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. It's something that I just don't understand, because our job as a DJ isn't one. I mean, yes, we do carry some speakers and stuff, so it's not something that is a physical difference. It is not something that is a background difference, as in, like, having opportunity to go to college or something like that. There isn't a divide in a social divide. There isn't a financial divide. There isn't any sort of divide with what we do. Requirements or obstacles. There is none of that. But yet again, I would guess, 80% of all DJs are men. Do you think that's a fair? That's what I know I just rambled on before I told what we're talking. We're talking about why aren't there more girl DJs, women DJs, lady DJs, and I look at that number and go, why is it so much? I mean, different if it's a little one way or a little the other, but it's so much to one side.
Well, just to give you, before we go there, when you go look at our demographics on our social media channels, it'll give you women compared to men. Our channels are 98.5% men. So, okay.
Wow, wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of testosterone floating around.
And they tune in to see our pretty faces. No. I would say that this comes back to something I learned in my radio days, and this was, and granted, I don't know if it's still true today, but at least it was 10 years ago when I was in the field. And the idea from a programming standpoint was women don't want to tune in to hear women. Now, that there's some exceptions to that, but in a greater kind of generalized setup for that, women didn't want to hear women DJs. They were okay if they were part of a team. They were okay if they were part of, kind of certain elements, but not as a single head person of a show. And so a programmer oftentimes would keep that in mind, or would keep that kind of in the back of their head as they're programming. That's why a lot of your top 40 stations they'll have female DJs, but they're not the main part or the forefront. Again, you get some crossover with some adult contemporary stuff, but I kind of categorize that idea as the same as what we probably see with weddings, is that there is an obstacle that a lot of them have to overcome, talking with a bride, talking with a couple, where it's not viewed kind of the same way. And I could be completely wrong, but that's what I see as potential issue there. Oh geez, what's he sharing? Oh,
what is that? What is that? There's no subject line.
That's from the 2015 DJ census.
Oh, I was like, there's no.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was in there.
Yeah, they of all the people that they did this census out to anybody and everybody, and that was the percentage.
So you're talking about 4% there, which is not far off from what our Facebook and YouTube page shows. Sorry, that's interesting, Dan. Though that with the radio. Because now that you mention that.
With the radio, though, are we talking about radio jocks, or are you talking about the mixed DJs on the radio stations? Because to me, those are two different things. The radio jocks are the radio people who are speaking on, and half of them don't know how to DJ. And then there's the people and then there's like the mixers that like the hot mix, the 5 p.m. mixer, the weekend mixers. So I don't know which one, and I don't know how that compares to, I don't want to say a real DJ, but I don't consider a radio jock who, and I'm not trying to diss anybody, but I'm going to do real talk right now, how a radio jock who's speaking on a microphone is different than somebody who's mixing music. Like, how are we comparing those two? Because to me, I don't understand the comparison.
Well, what I'm talking about, it's the radio jock. So you're talking about the people who are not skilled in the mixing sort of sense, but you're still talking about an MC sort of element to it. That factors in, and again, I'm not talking that they can't be, but I'm talking about that's an obstacle that a lot of them have to overcome, is the general sense that I'm not going to listen to you because, and I've heard everything. The reasons being because there's cattiness, or because I feel threatened if another woman is present, and I mean, and I'm not psychologically diving into any of those to know for sure, but I mean, those are some of the thought process to why the radio jocks weren't women. And again, if you're not speaking and you're not seeing and everything else, even just a presence of a female name, if it is some of the psychological aspects, could present some obstacles. Now, the question, or the more interesting thing for me, would be, is there not that many women, or are we seeing I want to get into it, and then I failed, and that's where it stops.
That's because you're a male DJ. Now I'm just playing.
This is my opinion.
Please, woman.
Because women know that being a DJ, you're not as cool as you think you are, guys. The women.
Wait a minute.
We do not perform brain surgery. We do not heal people. We do not build things. We do not repair things. What we do is play other people's music. That's our job. That was a derailer. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was kind of a derailer.
I'm just laughing because that's just funny to me.
It's meant to be funny. Don't take it.
Sheeny, let's take a half a step back before the derailment and before. What have you seen now? Dan was headed into the direction of talking about some hurdles or stumbling blocks or potential pitfalls for a female in the industry. He was talking more radio with some of the earlier parts of that. But what have you seen out there that are some of those pitfalls that might have caught in throwing some females? You basically said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to sit and fight this game.
Well, I mean, to me, if we're just talking straight DJs and we're not talking the MC aspect, because those are totally two different things. There's some great female DJs I know who aren't mobile DJs that are incredible DJs that are in the top 10. If you look up the DJs that are making mad money, I mean, like, look at Nervo, the girls like that. So, but I don't know if we're talking that or MC. Yeah, that's a totally different subject if we're talking female MCs. And I could battle that one on a total different subject. But as far as the female DJ goes, back in time, I could say probably it was because of equipment and lifting equipment. But also, you could get people to do that for you. A guy could get people to do that for me. So I don't like when people use that terminology that, oh, well, they can't lift it. Okay, well, this dude might have a back problem, or I could probably maybe lift more than him. and he's got techs just like I have techs. I have people that lift equipment for me. Is it because I'm a female? No, it's because when I do my mobile gigs, I'm all about the performance aspect. And I'm about giving 100% to my performance aspect. Yeah, do I help in the setup and tear down and stuff like that? Yeah, but I also have people that are helping me lifting my equipment and setting my stuff up. So I'm not totally 100% exhausted by the time those doors open and the party starts. So for me, I think that's a cop out for people to say like, oh, it's because women can't carry stuff. Well, look at how light some of the speakers are now and different things like that and controllers and all that. So that, to me, that's just, a thing is a daytime, is a nighttime type thing. You could go back and forth. But as far as just the talent itself, I can't give you an answer why there aren't more female DJs out there. I know kind of how Dan was saying, there are the woe is me type females out there. And I don't try to associate with those women because like I always try to explain to people, and I even did it in the article that was in the paper. I said, when it comes time for what I do for a living, I'm a DJ entertainer first. I'm a female second. When I'm out there, if I'm in a club, if I'm spinning, if I'm at the party, I'm your MC first. I'm a female second. If I'm a DJ, I'm the DJ first. I'm a female second when I come down to this. And just like when I look at the guys, I don't look at the guy as like the dude that's out there. I look at him as a DJ that's out there spinning. But there are a lot of women because of, everything that happened in the past. And, I'm not getting jobs and the men are getting the jobs. Shut up and worry about yourself and get your damn job. Like, seriously, like, I just really want to, like, crack them over the head and hit them in the earlobe. Like, seriously, like, worry about yourself.
Is that an earlobe hit, or what is an earlobe hit?
No, with the ear, you got to cup your
the cup. Okay, so you're
really just, like, I'll teach you all my little moves.
Do that to our friends all the time.
Yeah, but it's like boo-boos. Like, worry about yourself and not why the guys are getting jobs. Worry about why everybody else is getting the job and you're not. But
that's why you're one of the 4%.
Yeah.
Okay. True.
Just for the record about lifting, I know a lot of middle-aged, out-of-shape guys that can't lift the equipment. So,
yeah,
not
for
a gender thing.
Well, heck, there was, I had a few years ago, I had back surgery, and after you that, I mean, for 4 months, you can't lift anything over like 25 pounds or whatever it was. It's crazy. Things happen.
But there's nothing wrong with having techs and roadies, and even if you could lift all those equipment, there's nothing wrong with it. Any of the multi-ops and the people that have like 40 shows in a weekend, trust me, they got a team of people that are at that warehouse loading up the vans and making sure everything, warehouse manager and this and that. And even if you're a one man team, and it's okay to have an assistant that's helping you out. Nobody's going to say anything. In fact, people might be like, damn, Daniel, like, I wish I had somebody that, was lifting equipment with me. So, but trust me, back in the day, I was driving one of those brown bomber vans that had like no brakes with all the big equipment in the back and the amps and everything and rolling it out with everybody else.
Driving up to the elementary school.
Yeah, like I was doing all that with everybody and hearing the crates of music and, back in the day and things like that. So I don't, the excuses that the women are saying, everybody's focusing on those women. They're not focusing on the successful ones that are in the industry. But I can't tell you why there's not more of us. I can't. There's no.
I have more respect for someone who hires someone to help them set up, as opposed to a DJ that hires someone to actually mix records while they stand out in the middle floor and talk. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I also
Serato
wonder.
box right there. I still use a Serato box. There's my SL3 sitting right over there. Still, I had to break it out at the club this weekend. Even though I'm using controllers and stuff, still had to break that out and use it. I'm using everything I have to. So.
And that's what I did with my 8-track tape player right over. Oh, sorry.
It's an 8-track.
You're gonna have to explain what an 8-track is to about.
Hey, you guys are talking about
5% of the audience, because to them that's an app that plays music. 8 tracks.
Yeah. See, now you were talking about the real source of music, vinyl. No. The 8-track with its auto switching. Go ahead, Dan.
Bringing it back here for just a moment here. One thought. I'm going to try. I wonder if we might be looking at also kind of the wrong way. We're saying, why are more women? Why are not more women in it? we also could be looking at it as the number of guys are in it, because a lot of times we often say, at least us here, we often say we're gearheads. We're gearheads. So we buy this, we buy that. And how many people in your own area can you just think of immediately are people who bought equipment because they thought it was cool, and now they're a DJ, and there's another number that's going to skew it. So if you have somebody who just likes the gear, and I'm not going to say, maybe it is more of a male pattern for that, likes the gear, and now suddenly they're a DJ. So there's another possibility as to what could skew the numbers percentage-wise. I don't know.
Another stat from the statistics thing is that 50%, I think it's 50% of all DJs from the census have been DJing 3 years or less. So everyone out there who calls themselves a DJ has been DJing less than 3 years.
Those are knob turners to me.
I wonder,
Shani, that just doesn't look good, please.
Oh, sorry.
If you go beyond 5 years, like, if you looked at the people who are doing this more than 5 years, what percentage are male, what percentage are female? Like, does that?
Well, let me put you out of the 50. If I was in a room with 50 guys, I would probably only say 3 of them had talent out of those DJs.
Let's see, John, myself, MJ.
See how I said 3? See how I said 3? You like how I said 3?
I called it a while back. Anytime you want to battle, I'll lose to you. I don't care, but I'll battle you. I'll show you what's up.
Oh wait, are you calling me out again, MJ?
I am. Like I said,
look, you had your chance in Vegas. You had your chance to battle me.
I wasn't in Vegas.
No, Atlantic City.
I would have beat someone up to go in there and spin.
One last thought on this before we Shani, they're now hashtagging Shani turning
I know, it's
knobs.
no more clavicle. It's no more hashtag clavicle anymore. It's now Shani turning knobs.
Yeah, they're gonna somehow capture that screenshot. It's gonna become a meme across the internet.
Me and Drake. It's gonna be me and Drake.
Yeah, that'll be something. Oh, that's
what's that one?
That was
what's that one?
The number of DJs who are over 5 years, which is what 45% of the DJs.
Yeah. So if you add up everything, more than 50% of DJs have been DJing less than 3 months, according to that.
Yeah, most of them. But one thing, when we were the multi-system, we had predominantly female DJs on our staff, and what we found out is actually something that's going to feed back to what Dan was saying earlier, is that I would have brides calling, and they were okay. We know you guys do a really good job, and we've seen. Even after they've seen some of our female DJs out in the field, and they're like, "We know you guys do a good job, and we loved what Renee or Amber or any of them did, but can we get a guy? We'd really rather have a guy DJ."
Did they say why? Did they say why they wanted a guy?
We asked on a few occasions, and you could the kind of answers you would get, you never felt like you were getting a legit strong answer, that there was something behind it. Which the only thing we could think about in a couple of cases. Is that there might have been a little bit of they didn't want to be out. The DJ basically being more in a spotlight than they were, another female that they are feeling like they're competing with, which is odd because
that's what you said, Dan. That's what you were talking about, Dan.
Our staff, I mean, they wore a nice dress, a black blazer and slacks. They look nice. They look professional. It wasn't anything, short skirt or anything to that effect.
Because talent is attractive. Boom.
Then why don't I have more women paying attention to me?
Exactly.
You said 200% increase.
By the way, the math guy hated that analogy. It was wrong.
Because he went from 0 to 200%. There's no way that works.
200% increase of 0 is still 0.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if you were going to call that out, and I figured, well,
I did, but somebody else was talking. I didn't want to talk over.
Yeah, we'll let MJ, have his.
I'll help you with math, MJ. It's okay.
Alrighty, gang. We've been on for 45 minutes. We have probably bored our watchers to tears tonight. Thank you guys for watching.
It's been a long night. It's been a long night, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for being with us tonight. It's been a fun night. You guys can go check out any of the videos if you missed parts of it. We had a nice show starting off with Alex Reyes tonight. Alex had some really good information. You guys, the beginning part, there's some couple of things that were kind of cool, especially if you're just starting out. And then if you didn't get a chance to watch it, I would really recommend about halfway through, we got into a topic that I think for a lot of us who go and are out in the world, that it's going to help you, some good stuff there. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you get a chance, go check that out. And then we had Steve Moody, Randy Bartlett with us tonight, and there was some gold in both of those sessions this evening. So, and then, Shani said some pretty cool things too.
At least one, maybe two.
Did I get one in? Okay, good.
Well, you did both an MJ, so there was two.
And then she has a new hashtag.
I got a couple, and I have a new hashtag. I got a couple more weeks before I leave for corporate, so yes.
Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments or anything, please put those down below the video after this is over. If you have some questions or something you want us to look into for next Monday night, this will be the way we end our weeks and Monday nights each week. So, again, thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Good night.